this season is going to be dubbed a success or a failure based on what happens in this game. That's probably an overreaction, but at the same time, that's life, baby. I mean, I don't know what to. If they win the game, they make the playoffs, fans will be happy. If they lose the game and miss the playoffs, I can't really fathom how upset fans are going to be. I don't even think Niner fans really have even gone there mentally about what their emotions are going to be.
No, I think that the vibe I'm getting, and just my own take on where I am as a fan, I'm sort of in limbo going into this because you have mixed emotions on the 49ers' probability of winning this game. And sort of this, I don't want to admit to myself that if they lose, the season could be over. I mean, this entire 2021 season has built to this crescendo moment. And it seems to set up to favor the 49ers, but you know how this season has gone, that every time you expect something, the opposite has happened. And I do think that you'll have this very violent reaction from 49er faithful if, in fact, we miss the playoffs, because then everything comes into light. All of the decisions leading up to this of, oh, we started Jimmy Garoppolo the entire year. Yeah, he's going to get shipped out of here and we're going to move on to Trey. But we didn't get him the snaps because we were chasing the playoffs. But we didn't make the playoffs.
Yeah. That's to me, it's a fireable offense. And the only reason you don't fire Kyle is because you like him. You know, you really respect his offense. You believe in him. But if you took the face and the name out of it and just said, hey, coach did this, you'd say, oh, yeah, that dude's on shaky ground right there. He better have a real good reputation to keep his job after that. My thing was like, I would trade him if he missed the playoffs. But I think the main reason not to do it is for the kids. Is for keep them together for the kid. Like Trey, now you give him a second system in 2 years, and that's what they did to Alex Smith. And probably just for Trey's sake, keep him. But man, would people not be looking at Kyle sideways the rest of the year after? Dude,
absolutely. Because he pushed all his chips into this strategy of we are doing everything to prioritize winning this year. And therefore, winning is the most important thing to the fan base and what you will be judged on.
Jimmy is the key to winning. And if he starts this game and loses, let's say that's what happens, he'd be 8-7 this year. And so it's like, well, your calculations were wrong.
Yes.
Whoever did that math was wrong.
Right. The strategy was wrong at the beginning of the season. The interesting thing for me is the consideration that it would appear, if you assume that Jed York is a logical businessman, which, you know, given the fact that he's a billionaire, I assume that he is on some level. And you would think he said to himself, we are investing in this young gentleman. We gave up a ton of draft capital to take Trey Lance. He is the future, and I don't want him to go through multiple offensive coordinators. The strategy is going into this season, we're going to rely on Jimmy Garoppolo. We hope that leads us to the playoffs. But where I say I hope Jed is reasonable, he must have considered the possibility that the season would go in this way, or even worse, right? That something would unfold. Jimmy would get injured mid-season, be out for the year. Trey would be rushed in, and it would go poorly. So he had to consider holding on to Kyle Shanahan when he approved the trade up to 3. He had to have run the simulation, come out with the unlikely scenario of the 49ers struggling this season and said, well, if that does happen, I'm still okay with that. And so I think that he agreed to this strategy early on.
But I'm with you. Let me add on to that. It seems to me that Kyle Shanahan's actions and Lynch's too this year are people that think that they have to make the playoffs.
That's true.
They have to. So it's like, I don't know if they got that assurance. To me, it could have been as simple as Jed says, hey, you know, you guys got to make the playoffs this year, right? Like we felt you on the injury excuse like those 2 of the last 3 years, but you got to make it this year. And Kyle's like, all right, well, I need to do quarterback. And Jed's like, all right, do what you got to do. And then him and John had figured out this is the plan they got. But that could make sense.
I struggle to see Jed with the hard line approach. I guess he could be in the boardroom, but everything you see from him on Twitter or any of the public interactions just lead me to believe that there's really not that hard edge to Jed York.
Dude, if Jed went to Kyle when they drafted Trey and they're like, look, man, do whatever you want to do. You're going to be here forever. He's going to be here forever. Do whatever you see fit. And that's what Kyle decided to do. I'd be really disappointed. To me, this would make sense. Kyle's like, yeah, I mean, I got Trey, but I also have to stay employed for Trey's sake, for my sake, for everyone's sake. So that would make sense to me because I don't even know if Jay would have to say anything. You could just be silent. You know where you stand. You can't have a season. You can't I mean, most people can't unless their name is Shanahan.
I would think Jed wouldn't need to apply that pressure. I think that Shanahan applies that pressure to himself. I mean, when you look at the perfectionist mental attitude, mental makeup that he has, I think that it is playoffs or bust for him every year on his own level.
And he doesn't want to be 6 or 7 games under 500, which is what he is. He doesn't want that.
No.
Right? No.
He's tired of people having that to bring up against him.
Yeah, I would say so. All right. George says, I'm just not confident Kyle's going to make the right choice if he starts Jimmy G. We're going to lose really bad. I'm saying we're going to lose 45-14. We may get embarrassed on national television. Could happen. Is it a national TV game?
It's a 125 game, so it is one of the Fox games of the week.
I'm not sure that Kyle Shanahan is actually going to make a decision here. That's a little preview for later, but I'm not sure. I mean, I guess what I want to say is I think what they're kind of setting up here is, you know, Jimmy's just so tough for even trying this week. I mean, we just have so much respect for what he did. But I mean, he didn't even take reps. Like he was throwing in front of the media. Well, that's what they could say he really didn't take any reps in practice. And I mean, while he looked good, and there's other things like ball handling, and you know, he's just not ready. And we have so much respect for him. But I think the way they're going to frame it is, we really didn't actually have a decision here. We would love to play Jimmy. Are you kidding? But we can't. And thank you, Jimmy, for trying. I think that's kind of going to be how they frame this.
I'll be disappointed if they go that route, because that's basically giving yourself an out. That's basically giving yourself the excuse of, well, we didn't have a choice here. So if it goes badly, you know, it's not on us.
Exactly. We wanted to play Jimmy. We wanted to play Jimmy. Jimmy wanted to play.
Yeah.
We took him down to the very end, but what are you going to do?
Right.
It's a serious injury. I think that's kind of how you play it.
What are you going to do?
Because that takes the pressure off of Trey if he plays. It's not like, forget everything we thought. We like Trey against the Texans. Let's go. Like, no, like that seems irresponsible, right? That seems irresponsible.
Remember that first 17 weeks of the season?
Forget it.
Throw it out.
One game against Houston, and now you can't do that. Of course you want Jimmy. I think that's what's going to happen. Or Jimmy will just play. One of the two. He'll just play. I don't know if he can. I'm not at practice. I have no idea how many reps he's taken. I guess that's classified information. Trey not ready. Jimmy starts, loses, but Saints lose. Would Trey be ready then? Oh, man, I hope the drama keeps going. It's so good. It's juicy.
It's choice.
It's so choice, as Ferris Bueller would say. Yeah, I know. Let me try to give you an answer here. Jimmy starts, loses, Saints lose. But then theoretically, his thumb is like a week more healed. Or he plays in this game and there's a setback. You never, any number of things could happen. It could get better. It could get worse. I don't know. It's the future. I can't tell you, but I tried.
Yeah, so much easier to say if somebody starts today or on Sunday and then wins, would they continue on? Yes. But if they start and they lose and the 49ers back into the playoffs, now we're in for another week of guessing game.
Keneal, what's up? Mike McDaniel brought up a great point. Yes, he can throw, but can he effectively take snaps and hand off? What's Jimmy without his perfect handoffs? And can he even line up under center? Because I think all of Elijah Mitchell's carries came from under center last week. He can run from shotgun too, but that's a big part of their offense. Do they really want to give that up?
Right.
Yeah. And again, like, what if can he throw? Sure. Can he hold on to the ball? Will he fumble? Anyway, these are all things they have to.
And how does it progress, right? I'm thinking that as the game wears on, that the thumb becomes a little more exhausted, but at the same time, your adrenaline is going. So it's tough to predict how this thing's going to unfold over the series of the game. And
I would imagine that they're going to like inject it with painkillers, but like not being able to feel your thumb when you throw a ball, that seems tough.
Yeah,
I don't know.
You want some touch.
I would think. Chris says he sees McVay hitting the playoffs almost every year and feels he's leaps and bounds better and should be as well. Well, do it then. Make the playoffs. I think you could have done it with Trey Lance. We can't prove it, but I guess what I would feel is that I think the Niners would be in this position or better had they started Trey all year. And no way to know. Maybe they'd be in a worse position. Maybe they'd 4 and whatever. I can't do math now. They went to a 17-game season. I hate it.
It's tough. You got to relearn the entire, it's like multiplication tables.
Yeah, and it's really hard. George says thank you, George. Everybody know the Rams' game plan is to stop the run. They're going to stop the run. If Jimmy G starts, it's not going to be pretty. I don't think Jimmy's going to start. I think he's hurt. I think when you ask him, he's like, I'm really hurt.
Yeah.
I'm really hurt. I mean, pretty much. And the Niners are like, yeah, no, he's all right. He's going to be.
He's good.
He's pretty